vein of Errol Spence, we get, the occasional tweet, or it was on Instagram, but I'm gonna call it tweet from Errol Spence. He puts the shark floating around, says back soon. And obviously to me, I'm interpreting that as, okay, you'll see me back in the ring soon. Maybe he has a fight date that they haven't been able to publish to the masses yet, right? So now, after all this time, it's looking like it could be 2 full years before he gets back in the ring. Do we want the Errol Spence Fundora fight still, or would we rather see different opponents for each of them?
I'm not gonna lie, I want Errol Spence to fight someone else outside of Fundora. Errol Spence, my guy. I know he don't like tune-ups. Bro, you better get a tune-up. You better get a tune-up, because your career may end short, right? Like, I don't know what his plan is, but being out the ring for that long is and then you going and taking on a challenge like Fundora is kind of wild to me. I think they both should just kind of go take tune-ups and then kind of collide later in the year, especially if they get a fight early. I think we was talking about this, right? Like, it's probably more than likely going to be, I know you mentioned after Tank's fight, which I do agree with. So what, April, and then he tries to fight again, towards the end of the year, right? November. See how that pans out. But yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah. So
you think he should take a tune-up, or you think he should just go straight into Fundora?
I 100% think he should take a tune-up. And it shows, right? Just to look at the Terrence Crawford fight. No, Terrence didn't want to call it that, but David Avenesia was a tune-up. Stay busy, work off some of the ring rust. And I'm not saying that's the only reason Terrence Crawford beat Errol Spence, but I'm just saying Terrence approached this fight like it was the biggest fight of his life, and Errol approached it like, yo, you're just another guy. So learning from that mistake, you shouldn't approach these fights like they're just other guys, you know what I'm saying? So definitely go in there, take a tune-up fight, work off some of the ring rust, work on some things, try to fight a southpaw guy, right? Because, Terrence Crawford fought in southpaw that whole fight. Sebastian Fundora, southpaw. Errol lost, and I believe was in the Olympics. I believe he lost to a southpaw, right? So now people are saying you have troubles with southpaws, and it doesn't really matter what people say, but could there be some truth to it? You know what I mean? So like, take a tune-up, get active, get busy. Who knows? Like, does he have a trainer? Maybe he's been working with someone under the ropes this whole time and wants to shock people. Maybe he wants people to sleep on him. You know what I mean? But I just don't know. There's so much uncertainty around there. I would like to see them fight each other, but I would definitely say he should take a tune-up. But I think for his sake, he's probably like, if I take a tune-up, will I lose my position, and will I ever be able to get it back? You know what I mean?
So I got a question for you, right? Do you think he believes that, or let me rephrase it, do you think he has one foot out the door already, and that's why he doesn't want to take a tune-up, and he just wants to kind of go into these big fights and cash out as much money as possible? Or do you genuinely believe he just is just prideful and he just doesn't want to take tune-ups, right? Do you think that's
I think it's the latter. I don't think it's a gimmick. I don't think it's just trying to make the money while I can before I'm not relevant. I do think he's prideful to a fault, right? Because like I said, you go into the biggest fight of your life and you treat it like it's just another guy, right? That's not just because you're trying to make money. That's because you're too prideful. You're too cocky. No one's saying you're not good. You're elite. You know what I mean? But you have to like take everybody serious. Look what just happened to Jaime Munguia, right? Like, it can happen to anybody. So imagine going in there against another world-class elite of the elitist talent. You have to take it serious, but I do think he's too prideful, and I'm not sure if anyone can get through to him, right? Especially with that severed relationship between him and Derek James. Derek James probably was the person who can get through to him. Now, I don't know if a new trainer is going to be able to say, like, listen, bro, you need to slow down. You need to pivot. You need to do this. You get what I'm saying? I do think it's pride and stubbornness.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah. But I mean, hey, if he goes in there and he shocks the world, he's back on the map, right? Back on the map. And it shows that boxers probably can come back for those losses, right? It kind of pushed boxing closer to that stratosphere of UFC, where you can take a loss and still, be super relevant, instead of like the whole you only undefeated fighters matter stigma that boxing has.
Yeah, for sure. I think, especially in Errol Spence's case, if he can, bounce back, have a great win, he's back in, talks with probably getting that Terrence Crawford rematch, right? That collision course. But that can easily, really burst into flames if he really loses to Fundora, especially if he loses bad. So we would just have to take it a day at a time and really see,